weather forecast, you can now get through to a giggle. It's a service provided not by the post office, but by a rather zany ex-London disc jockey. By dialing his home number and providing you share his personal brand of humour, you could be in for a laugh.
I'll call you back a little later, if I may. Well, it seems I was quite lucky to get through on that occasion. Dial a Joke has become so popular, the line is constantly engaged with calls coming from as far away as Scotland. Callers who do get through probably imagine there's a real comedian waiting to cheer them up on the end of the line. But in fact, it's this, a taped message on an answering machine. However, the days of a machine telling us jokes unaided are not yet here. The comedy is pre-recorded by Jeff Kane. Jeff, a novel approach, I must say. What gave you the idea?
Well, basically, I suppose that I saw there's a lot of gloom around, and I wanted to change it. And in my own zany way, I realised that I can let out some of my madness on a machine. And therefore, that's how it happened.
What sort of people phone in for your jokes?
People in banks, British Rail phone in, certain clubs, even the GPO phone in for a laugh, so Busby must be finding out about me, and people like that.
And what's the reaction?
Enormous, and it's very funny because a lot of them leave little messages to me in which I have then got a feedback situation, and if I listen carefully enough, I can make tapes for them specifically, and that really goes down a bomb. So it's a good situation.
Now, how would you describe your humour? That one I heard just now is pretty zany. Python-esque, kind of, or what?
Well, I would describe it as madness that should have been locked up. But controlled madness, let's put it like that. It's not really a joke, it's just a mad situation that you're going to phone up and hear at any given time. It's different every day, by the way.
Have you had any adverse reaction?
Occasionally, there's bound to be a crank like me that will leave a strange message, but in any city, when you give out a number and it's like that, they're going to. Somebody will. But you just ignore it because there's 9/10 of it is good.
And you're constantly updating the jokes, are you? I mean, you said, what, a new one every day, a new tape every day?
A different tape every day, but on an idea. I get an idea, and it will probably go around in my head for about 3 or 4 days until I've got the basic things sorted out. And then I do it in the little studio I've got built at home, and it will take about 2 hours to do 60 seconds.
So if I give you another buzz tomorrow, I shall hear
you will indeed.
A different joke.
Probably a BBC one.
Jeff, thank you very much.
Thanks very much indeed.
You pay to dial a poem and dial a prayer and even book at bedtime. But I'm dialing through to what is one of London's busiest private telephone lines at the moment. It's Dial, a comedy show. Can you believe it? Run by a man called the Curlyman.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Welcome to 6411 and a pre-Christmas nosh with our able guide and expert on Spanish cuisine, a certain Mr. Ramshid. Let me point out to you that the waiter, being a good sport, has no idea.
I started inventing my own funny 20-second messages, just for my friends.
Yeah.
And then I lost all those and gained a whole new audience.
world would be a better place.
Well, you shouldn't sit there like that. I say it's a pity you can't see her. Anyway, yes, sir. T for two. Mrs. T, as she is so lovingly known, or to the uninitiated, Mrs. Thatcher, is planning to give her husband Dennis a surprise party for Christmas. Like Monday and Tuesday is always the news, which is a skit on the news. Friday and Saturday, the world's worst disc jockey thumping John Thomas, and so on.
How many people ring you up each day?
How many people actually ring me up? It must be over 3,000 people a day dial the number. But the actual amount that gets through fluctuates between 400 and 600.
It is very hard to get through now. When I first started phoning, I could get through most times when I phoned, but now I have to give up very often.
What about you?
I found a slot about 7 o'clock in the morning that's usually empty.
You mean there are that many people ringing up that the only time you can get through is 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, usually.
Another winner for 6411, folks.
Is Mike Aspel a nice fella? Who knows? Who knows? If I end up on the Christmas outtakes, that'll be great. There we go. I've got to the point now, I don't know if what I do is good or bad. I just am so involved in it and I can't tell. So I hope that somewhere along the line someone's going to see what I do and see it's viable for whatever situations.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, we'll just have to change the music, Selena. Oh, hello, and welcome to Curly News.
Oh, come on. No, not come on. What's it supposed to be? The Curlyman. Oh, who is the Curlyman? The mastering phone. Yes, it's all gathering. Talking a lot of rubbish. What is it all supposed to be made of? I don't know. It's in the evening standard. I see. Well, then that's that, darling. Don't listen to any more. I want to phone Gatton.
A man who claims to be Britain's first answer phone disc jockey is alive and well and living in Fulham. For 2 years now, Jeff Cairns has been recording programmes to be listened to by people who telephone him at his home. He gets 600 calls a day and has become something of a cult figure, as Simon Neve now reports.
I want you to ring up this phone number and tell us what you think of what you hear at the other end. In you go.
It's engaged.
It's what?
Engaged.
Engaged.
Right, hello gang, well put lady. Welcome to Curlyman, an alternative dollar disc and me, Bummy.
This is the man whose phone is continually engaged. Geoffrey Kane is Britain's first and only telephone disc jockey. Each day he prepares a new tape for his answer phone. His line is always busy with fans who think it's well worth spending 5p listening to his offbeat music and comments. When you started this off, did you have any idea that it would take over your life completely? It's taken over your house, it's taken over your time?
No, I didn't, to be quite honest. At the initial stages was a backfire. I didn't plan it. There's no way I planned this. I just set out to make my answering machine messages on my normal home line a little different. And then I found out that people liked it.
Has Busby said anything to you? What do the telephone people think of all this?
I think they're keeping quiet to the tune of about £10,000 a year.
Because that's what it's making for them?
Yeah, calls from all over the country. I had a call from Cyprus, America, Germany. Obviously, it's very hard. I mean, it's so chock-a-block, this line, that if somebody rings from another country, they're not going to sit there dialing and dialing and dialing away. One young lady dialed 212 times to get through.
It's engaged.
Oh, Selena, I do wish Reggie was back. I'm fed up of drinking on my own. Hello.
Keep the lines busy. The Curlyman, as Jeff calls himself, spends all his leisure time preparing new shows. He's done it for 18 months without pay, just because he enjoys people ringing 6411 and reacting to his work.
What do your friends and parents think about all this?
They ignore me. Nobody talks to me anymore in case they end up on 6411.
Still?
Yeah.
How many times have you tried now?
About 6 times.
Clearly Busby is no good for a sought-after DJ. What Jeff wants now is a radio station to ring him up. Simon Neve in Fulham for Thames News.
No good if they do and he's engaged. 2 28-year-olds set off from...